A very good afternoon to one and all present in this webinar. I am Pranjali from 4th year, College of Architecture, SVIT Vasan. I cordially welcome our speaker for the day, Architect Siddharth Bhayani. I also extend a heartiest welcome to all the fellow attendees in this webinar. Our college has come up with various webinar series during this COVID-19 pandemic on diverse topics like landscape architecture, conservation architecture, GIS, products and furniture design, essence of architecture, architectural education, insights of real estate valuation, and alumni series. And now we are continuing the alumni series. Today, we have architect Siddharth Bhayani, who will be sharing insights on architectural journalism. I request our Professor Taha Padrawala to address the webinar and give us a glimpse of our college.
Thank you, Pranjali. On behalf of SA Alumni Association, I would like to welcome Siddharth, famously known as DJ, on this online webinar platform. Our alumni has brought glory to our institute in so many ways. They have set examples of being successful and being a good human being. I extend my warm regards to every member of our alumni present in this webinar. I also acknowledge the presence of our principal, sir, Shailesh Nair, Pragnesh sir, Ashwin sir, Pallavi Madam ma'am, Vigna ma'am, and all the faculties of SVIT Vasa. Main intention of this alumni webinar series to promote healthy interaction between our alumni and young students. Before I give this platform to Siddharth, I would like to show you a few glimpses of our college.
Thank you, Taha sir. I would like to take this opportunity to introduce architect Siddharth Bhayani. Sir is an architect and musician. He is SVIT alumni, founder of Architects Diary, India's most visited architectural website. A passionate musician and motivated individual, strongly believes in experimenting with innovative ideas and exploring verticals in various segments. He has been associated with VARN, an art collaborative, a platform to serve bridge between various art forms from non-artists to exhibitions, workshops, and events. As an architect, he is involved in designing various private and government affiliated festivals, It is my sheer pleasure and absolute honor to welcome architect Siddharth Bhayani to this virtual platform. The dais is yours, sir.
Hello, everybody. Thank you, Pranjali. Taha, it's nice to see some, really old faces here. Shailesh, how are you?
Hi DJ, how are you?
All good, all good. Also, it was great to see the presentation. It is seriously some nostalgic events, some NASA photographs that we did in SVIT together. It was a yeah. Thank you for letting me here on this platform and guide the young generation to not only see architecture as one of the only way of making up to. It can be various sources and various other fields that can be taken into consideration. So one of them is architectural journalism, and today the presentation would not only directly guide you to the core of journalism, but more towards inclined towards digital platform and digital journalism. So not saying much, I'm very sure a lot of people from you guys might have been visiting my website, the Architect's Diary. Okay, and now the platform has crossed close to 500,000 visitors a month and more than 1 million followers on social media. So let's not talk about it much. Get directly to the presentation now. Taha, is it okay if I can directly jump to
Yes,
presentation?
yes, please.
Regarding the architecture journalism, you might be very aware about like how the print media from the print media, a diversion from the print media became the digital era. Because of the Facebook and Google entering the market and taking over how we absorb the information. Yeah, it is an upgrade, I suppose, to the digital form. So, yeah. So let me talk about the Architect's Diary first. Okay, Architect's Diary has become the most visited architectural website, been accessed by close to 15,000 people a day and more than 5 lakh social
Hello,
media followers. We have
hello.
published close to more than 2,000 publications, the project publications, and plenty of other articles. Apart from that, we have close to 65,000 subscribers. Basically, the subscribers are A-grade architects and interior designers who has been practicing in this field for a very long period of time, I suppose. And definitely, we encourage the newcomers and the beginners to put their project, their work, and
Siddharth,
display their work.
Siddharth.
So yeah, let me talk about the Architect's Diary. Basically, it is a sort of platform we consider as a digital magazine. It's being accessed by more than 15,000 people a day. Sorry, and more than 6 lakh people has been following on social media. And of course, we have published close to 2,000 projects since 2018, and yeah, 65,000 subscribers, and that's the basic statistics, I suppose, for Architect's Diary. So let me talk about a little brief in history, like what exactly Architect's Diary was and how it started. So Architect's Diary, it was initially was introduced as India's first interactive magazine. Right, it has a very sort of you can interact with it, you can play with it. It has tap buttons, you can swipe screens. That was the whole idea when it started. But
बाकी यार कैसे
yeah, before it
करिए ना
was
एक
before
मारा
time, I suppose.
मारा एक मीटिंग में जॉइन થવાનું હતું જો મેં
Hello.
આમાં કરી જોઈન બરાબર છે
Yeah, I think there is some disturbance.
Hello.
Anyway, should I
Actually,
continue?
again the echo is coming.
Sorry, there was a one participant whose mic was on. I muted him. You continue, please. Sorry to
Okay.
interruption.
Okay, Taha, no problem. So basically, we started as India's first interactive magazine where we sort of supported. The file used to support. It was more of in a digital magazine style, but the file used to support video formats, click buttons, swipe right, swipe left. Going to website. So it was that is how it started back in 2016. I'm very sure Taha was the initial reader, and he was the first guy who actually suggested me some real changes for it. But it was before time, I suppose, and the idea itself was not been digested by a lot of people, and so gradually we saw this another website called Arc Daily. I'm very sure a lot of people might be aware about Arc Daily, and gradually we sort of took their format, a much easy way of presenting the same thing, the same data, so the same information. So yeah, then it was a gradual growth. Okay, the idea was to, the idea was to present maximum number of good architecture, good designs, providing them with a platform, because we saw that how the hard copy magazine and how the hard copy magazine used to have their own circles, and they don't like usually promote all the good things that are happening in India. So as India has been vast country, there are number of interior designers, a number of architects been presenting that work on every daily basis, and this was not covered in any hard copy. So we saw a market gap. That is the fourth point in the PPT. Yeah, so market gap was where we saw an opportunity. There was no magazine at that time like really coming up with daily news or daily publication or daily project publication on any certain platform. It was a bi-monthly magazine that we sort of subscribe for 700 to 1500 rupees, and then ultimately lights up every week with like 5 projects and 200 ads. So nobody wants to actually see that. So we saw an opportunity, and gradually with constant dedication and a very core intention of promoting India's architects and interior designer, providing them with platform, and giving them the right audience that they deserve, right? So the whole intent was very clear. We just need to bifurcate good designs from bad design. Being from an architectural background, it was very easy for us to do that. Okay, so currently, as I mentioned, current position, we are the most visited website, and we are trying to get into different type of media-oriented business, media-oriented, like architectural media-oriented work, that is events and workshops and webinars and podcasts, and so that is a gradual growth. And as we have number of people watching Architects Diary, of course, each and every architect's hard work, each and every design is been directed and given a proper justice. So what exactly the architectural journalism is, like for us, what is the basic root of media? So it's very simple. It is a bridge between valued information and or entertainment, created, curated to serve masses. So any piece of good information which we think it's valued has to be catered to masses. Like India is a big country with a lot of population, and of course the whole root of media is to bring those news or bring those valued information to people, a lot of people. So that was the this is the base root, I suppose. Of course there are no actual books telling this, but I think through this experience of 4 years in this particular field, this is a very foundation of any media company. So apart from media, it has a various sort of ways of doing it. The medium can be any, so it can be newspaper, it can be traditional magazine, it can be television, it can be website, blog, or any platform. So for we are today going to discuss this four major medium. Those are magazines, website, blogs, and platform. Okay, so either way around, the traditional print media is gradually dying. That is what people say. Of course, it has its own benefits. So let's get into comparison between two. Okay, So print media can be bifurcated into magazines and newspaper, and of course we being habituated reading newspaper every day, and I totally understand not everybody like have a tablet and go Times of India and check out Times of India or Architect's Diary every day in the morning. But we are very used to the paper, and we are very used to the smell of the paper. We like to read it. It's more accessible. It's very traditional, and the news are of course authenticated, right? But the only issue with print media, one of the major issue is like it has a very limited access. Whereas on the digital media, the platform, that can be website, blog, or platform, we have an accessibility. So anything that any piece of information kept on the internet stays there and can be served whenever it's been asked for. You don't have to like go to your own personal library and see for that piece of information and search for it. You just have to type. It's so easy to type it on Google and get the information out of it. Of course, it's an open source, so many of the websites you don't have to subscribe, you don't have to pay, right? It's very open source sort of thing. So apart from that, the frequency of publications that we receive, it's faster. So for example, Architect's Diary publishes close to 3 projects in a day. A lot of articles in a day. So it's 10 to close to 60 to 100 projects in a month. Whereas in print media, you only get certain sort of information in a very limited words, right? You get like 5 projects in a month or 10 projects in a month, and then there is like a lot of advertising. So apart from that, digital media allows you to really interact. It's a two-way medium, right? So whenever there is any doubt, you can personally comment. Like currently we are on a digital platform, right? So you can comment on it, like ask for drawings, ask for details, ask for plans if you require any, ask for any questions, and you directly connect to the designers, the architects themselves. They are going to communicate with you, or else you can connect to their social media platform, and it becomes a very easy thing for a student to get a much more depth of the project. Any doubts can get cleared in a very fast manner. And yeah, apart from that, digital media allows you to access videos, audio files, podcasts, and a lot of other mediums, right? So it's more visual, it's more interactive, it's something which we like to see rather than some just photograph being printed on paper, right? So apart from that, there is this global audience. Okay, so for example, Architect's Diary is currently only targeting India and trying to promote Indian architects, interior designer, and artists. But apart from that, of course, there are platforms where you can put such a similar project of yours and tend to reach out to global audiences. So of course, for me, it's an upgrade from the print media. And of course, after why this thing happened, like why we tend to move in digital print media is an easy access. That is what I can see currently. Okay, so apart from that, why again I'll come back to Architect's Diary, a little story behind it. That we used to stay in Vasad, and in Vasad we had not lot of opportunity apart from the library that we had. But if you want to seek for the contemporary trends, it was like mandatory for us to subscribe to some magazine by paying like 1,000 rupees. And that moment of time, like being a student, it was very difficult for us to pay such kind of money for information. And during back in the days 2008 9, it was not like the internet was not that easy to get. So we used to go to cyber cafe and surf for all the information and the detail. And the only website we used to follow was Arc Daily, right? The mobile phone were not Android at that moment, but like gradually, of course, the technology improved. But due to this hassle, we sort of found a way that we want to create a platform which can serve the student community as well as the professionals, and they can connect to each other directly apart from the readers themselves. So yeah, this was the backstory why we went into digital journalism, digital architectural journalism. So I'm so sorry. Uh, okay, let's talk about uh, in general journalism, a journey from traditional to digital. So, through architectural journalism, our motto was not only to publish article or see what's happening in India, but it was more towards inclined towards making the reader understand that how exactly the building would be, what are the plan, what are the section, which I think only book can give you. But it was a gradual sort of way of doing it. But of course, many traditional believers think that after social media, it has completely altered the world of journalism, and of course, which offers and communication and showcases opportunity reaching a diverse global audience. So I think I cannot get more agree to the point that it has changed the way we see the world, right? So that is the part of it. Okay. Hello. Hello. Yeah. So the objective. So when after the intent of giving this presentation was there are a lot of students who might be looking, they are good content writers and who might be looking at, like, of course this can be pursued as a career. So a little brief on like how this thing can happen and how we did it, and how easy it would be for you to do it. So first and foremost, the intent has to be very clear. Like, of course, there is always a two side of the coin, like, but one is good and one is bad. Similar with the design, similar with the architecture, similar with music. So your intent has to be present because you are catering to masses. You are catering to more than millions of people. So it is your responsibility to have a clear intent and not a sold out media, right? So the intent has to be that if you are working into architecture journalism, gradual growth, gradual good design must flourish, right? Not like typical some 3D maker design. Like, it has to have a say. The design must have good aspects of color palette or material, or maybe planning. So the intent has to be clear that it has to play an important role in the growth of humanity or in the entertainment business. Okay, so second is the niche selection. So in this niche selection, you need to understand what exactly you love, what exactly you love about writing. Which genre you want to like really capture, which niche you want to go. So you need to be clear about like whether I want to write about architecture or whether I want a platform where architecture flourishes, music flourishes, art flourishes. Education, sports, news, technologies. There are so much so much of things which you can select and get into. So for us, for Architects Diary, it was of course architecture and yeah, interior design as well, and we are trying to gradually go towards art and design field. Okay, from the perspective, when you are catering to masses again, it is a big responsibility what you keep on your website, right? It actually changes the way people say it. So, for example, you take any architect or interior designer, supposedly an architect, for example, Sanjay Puri, right? So, if he is building something, it is our responsibility that being a media, it's our responsibility to know that, okay, not only his name matter, but his work even does matter. So if a building is designed well, uh, it, it, uh, it is functional, you see from that perspective, and then you publish it, not because he is a well-known architect, we go ahead and publish it. So each and everything that we put on internet matters. So because why does it matter? Because like there are so many people been observing those, consuming those, trying to inspire from their designs, and it is responsibility being a media house to you put a bar uh, on selection process and ultimately shape the culture. Okay, so I'll just read it down for you. This is just an opportunity, like apart from just writing about architecture, there are multiple bifurcations of the same that can be trade magazines or popular journal, or you can write about 3D visualization, you can write about facade, or you can write about new material, you can just take like for example there is this one blog called Office Snapshot. So this particular this particular publication only focus on offices. Office Snapshot, yes. So so they are connecting to world leading office designers, and they only promote offices. So you need to understand what actually interests you before getting into any niche. So yeah, so for example, it's written like cater to sustainability, green building, landscape, energy efficient, and construction techniques. So it's a way, again, it's a way of connecting to millions and millions of people, delivering a message. Just like in my college days, our professor used to teach us, guide us. So it was a guidance to only 50 people or 100 people. Now with this, we have now with being in media and being observed by so many people, the what do you call the system, the education system, the message delivering system goes to 1 to millions, right? So I think that's a core opportunity here. And apart from just publishing projects, you can get into many other segments, just like Times of India been into segment of releasing music or creating events. Similar to that, there are plenty of opportunity does open up after becoming after being in journalism. So of course we can similar to podcast, similar to what you are doing like webinars and lecture delivery events. So ultimately the base route is the same, the foundations is the same. It's like delivering a good message to masses. So I think we can definitely go a little technical apart from the philosophical side of publication. So if you want to go into this journalism, architectural journalism, there are three aspects you need to check. That is content creation, networking, and language and message. Okay. So content creation. So what I have done is like I've sorted, like there are a lot of subjects to talk on, but in general there are 5 things to be taken care of. First is the news, the information, and the trend. Okay, so you might know like how news channel work, how they sort of rely on the trends. So current topics, and that is one of the niche has to be taken care of. Second is revealing the secrets. Right. So when you say that, for example, let's go for like this one blog I was reading on NASA. So how they found certain extraterrestrial objects on Mars. Now that is very which creates a curiosity in you, right? And then ultimately by giving them photograph the proof and saying that okay, there was a proof of being water here on the Mars, and that is how creates the curiosity in the minds of people, and they want to read about it. Okay. The third is the celebrities. Okay. So you might have heard about Architectural Digest. Okay. This particular magazine is completely surviving on celebrities. They go to, for example, Kangana Ranawat's place and shoot Kangana Ranawat's place. Doesn't matter like who is the designer. Doesn't matter like what was the concept. But like of course you attend to attach to a celebrity, and that is how your magazine is going to flourish. So that's the third point. Fourth is how to. So there are a lot of website similar to which caters in this segment. That is Apartment Therapy, right? One of the leading magazine with close to 20 million visits. So this particular segment, I suppose, is which teaches you how to make your, for example, 10-bedroom tricks, and it gives you facts. It gives you the material available. It gives you information about which material is available and how you can do it. So that's the fourth point. Fifth is the reviews, right? So you might have seen on YouTube there are a lot of people reviewing technology like mobile phone cameras. So review does matter a lot because it is having a very core truth. It is right in front of you, and they give you what you call in-depth detailed analysis of that particular object or that particular segment or that particular article. So yeah, so these are the five segments. If you tend to move in these five segments, I'm very sure you will be attracting a lot of readers. And yeah, so for us, Architects Diary, we have for how we are doing is like we have created a network, good relationship with architectural photographers who tend to give priority to get published on Architects Diary, and we give them high priority to for publication. And of course, to create content, we have a team of designer background who can definitely justify and create a standard for Architects Diary. So content creation B, that is the alternative side of journalism. So a lot of people talk about the fact criticism or journalism, like why criticism is so important, because ultimately when a building has been made, right, you have a say saying that okay, there is a scope of improvement. In past one of my project, me being an architect, past one of my project has certain issues and been taken into consideration by some journalists and like been put it in the press. So other architect and the firm who has been watching my work is going to take those negative criticism into consideration and strive for a better building, a better way of presentation, a better way of it's more of an upgradation in area of architecture. So not only architecture is limited, journalism is limited, as I mentioned before. It can be on material, the criticism can be on trends, or it can be on structure, or anything which you think can be changed for a better building. So it's necessary, but it can always be subtle. So, okay, so networking. So after you have created a brand, like why an architect or an interior designer would like to publish with your platform? Okay. Being a blog, why people would like to read what you have written. Okay, so there are three factors which plays an important role for attracting architects or designer to publish with us. Would be the reach, the first and foremost. So how many people are really seeing your project? How many people you are influencing? Okay, so for Architects Diary, it is close to, if a project get published, it been seen by close to 2 lakh to 5 lakh people, which a hard copy magazine would never able to do it. So that particular, the reach is a factor which basically attracts architects and interior designer to publish on our platform. Okay. Second is the leads. Uh, Leads is I'm very sure is a term you've been through, and basically leads are a potential clients, right? So being an architect, apart from the reach and the fame and the recognition I'm getting, it's very mandatory for me to even get more clients. So when there is more reach, there are chances that a potential client can land up uh, via media, that can be through magazines or digital magazines. So that is another reason. Third is the recognition and the branding. Of course, everybody gets published. A lot of people are seeing. So ultimately, you are getting recognition, and ultimately, a branding is been done. So always an architect or an interior designer want to get attached to a well-established platform or a brand. So that is how the network works. Language and the message. Okay. So we've been talking about philosophically talking about message and the choices and the role play for us to what kind of responsibilities we are having. So apart from that, the language is not that important as necessary. Of course, being a platform, it has to have a tone. So language is just not the quality of how you write it. In Architect's Diary, we have strict criteria for publication. Of course, starting from the space designing, the material use, to introducing the new space and defining the spaces. We see at the photo quality and other factors too, and then we sort of it's a very strict sort of selection process. So only good information comes out from Architect's Diary. So that is how we are setting the tone of overall publication. Okay, so I'll request every students to really uh, see for this, particularly watch this segment, because if you are really looking for taking architectural journalism as a career, this is something which you will need to start off with your own brand or on your own blog or your own publication. So these are the tools and the skills that you require for architectural journalism. Okay, so for the tool, if you are going for a digital publication, and of course I'll encourage you to go towards digital publication rather than sticking to a very traditional hard copy publication. So first and foremost, you need to have website. Okay, the website has quite a process. Website can be done on WordPress. It can be done on Wix.com. It can be done on Squarespace.com. And once you have your domain, your brand, your logo, and everything all together, and a server space, you can start with your website. And second priority would be the writing and the editing part of it. So you need to be very precise about what you are writing, whether you are like really justifying the project, whether you are like really explaining the story behind it or the concept behind it. So writing plays a very critical role in journalism. Uh, Okay, so that was about writing. Of course, you need to have good taste for photography and cinematography. So, in case if you in near future, if you think that okay, this is a video I want to put it on YouTube, but you must know like how to edit it or how to use certain cameras and primarily it has to have a very primary sort of what do you call use of equipments, right? So that is one. Another is video editing and audio recording, right? So YouTube is one of the platform who is giving a lot of priority on video. I mean, it's a video broadcasting platform, right? So uh, for apart from that, if you are looking at just a video editing nowadays, Instagram and have started encouraging video content, and gradually Facebook has even started encouraging video content. So this is a very sort of mandatory process. I'm very sure it is very easy once you dive into it, and you can come up with like really amazing techniques of doing editing. And you might have seen like a lot of YouTubers and bloggers using various equipments and putting up on YouTube and other social media. So that is another video editing. Apart from that, you need to have a good knowledge about like how social media works. And apart, because till now you've been using social media as your your own personal way of communicating or connecting with your friends, right? So now we are looking from a perspective of being a publisher or a blog writer. So the each and every platform tends to have their own different tendency. And I think Google is like the leading a leading what do you call leading platform or leading website where a lot of informations are being served. So you should have the basic knowledge. I'll definitely get into each and every one in detail later on, but you need to have a proper understanding of how exactly you are going to use this medium to get more readers and get more traction happening. So that is one. Another is like creating design stories. So apart from the skills that you derive, this is one of the major skill to write, pen down each and every thought of yours or each and every story or any topic or any trend in your own words, and still find it very easy for readers to get into your brain and like understand what exactly the writer is talking about. So it's not like you have to use like what do you call the language has to be very sophisticated, or it has to just like cater to the masses. Everybody should understand what you are talking about. So this is one of the skills you should definitely have. Second is research. So in research, apart from the project publication that we do have a team of people who are very good with research, and they tend to go deep into a certain topic, which of course a lot of books might have covered, but then always there is this new trend coming up or new thing that is coming up, and research of those particular what do you call chapters are very important and necessary. Okay, so that is second, that is research. Third is title and content plotting. Okay, so this is major. This is big because Once it's my experience, like when you are reading a newspaper, you tend to only see the title first, right? So it has to be catchy enough. It has to have the message that what the article is about, and how. And of course, after the title, that catchy title, once a person land up on the website or on your blog or any platform, they need to understand like they must connect to the title and then go into detail of it. So title is again one of the important aspect. Another is curation. So currently Architect's Diary is completely functional on curation. So what we do is like we have this ebook which is called 50 Beautiful Homes in India, where we went through every data that is available on the web world, and try to create like this, try to create a book of this 50 beautiful homes in India, right? So that is a very good example of curation. And then later on we came up with like 30 best office design, 30 restaurant interiors, and saving time of people just to download the PDF and like go through that PDF, and like you're good to go rather than surfing around for hours and hours on different websites. So curation is again one of the important aspect. Apart from that, we even did like one of the blog for the photographers. It was like 10 best photographers in India, and of course we went in detail, we saw everybody's work, and like ultimately came up with this 20 people who are doing some amazing work in that documentation field. So curation is again like a very important aspect. Okay, apart from that, there is like once you are starting uh, as an architectural, in the architectural journalism, you need to have a set skills of you need to have an idea about how you are going to monetize it, right? I'm being very frank. There are a lot of people who starts one or the other venture, and they have no clue about like how you are going to make money out of it, right? To be very direct, it is a very important part of any startup to strive, right? So you, to even run a blog, you need to pay certain bills of yours and ultimately make money out of it. So it has to have a monetization plan. It can be, for us it can be an advertising or selling products, or either way around. So if you are like really looking forward to this point, you can definitely connect to me on my Instagram or Facebook account, and we can definitely discuss your startup plan for sure. So okay, apart from that, there is this another aspect which again inclined towards Google. It's a keyword research. So now there is this major difference that has came was that came was basically past we weren't able to have our own say. Now people, we know Google's tell you that okay, kitchen design has been searched by 2.5 lakh people, right? So now it's very transparent in a way that we know that okay, this is what people are searching for, and we need to create a solution or address a problem or a collection for that particular keyword. So uh, yeah, so this is the major game. This is what is going to get you a lot of traffic, a lot of what do you call, a lot of readers. So while you are challenging, while you are addressing a problem, you are writing a blog about a problem, you need to know that okay, it is a problem actually. So you need to know that it's been searched on Google, and then and only then it is worth something. So you don't want to end up writing a 2000 paragraph, like 2000 word article, and nobody comes read it, right? So it's very important to do a keyword research. And of course, if you have any doubt regarding it, of course you can connect to me on this one too, because I understand if you need to have a sort of IT background to understand this keywords or SEO or such kind of terminology. And of course you can, it took me even while to figure out everything, so of course you can contact me later on. Okay, so of course Google and social media platforms are there, and let's get into like how exactly this everything together works. The fourth part of the presentation is the reader and the source, like how are you going to get readers for your article or your blog post or your publication, right? uh, Apart from the five initial method that I described, there are ways of doing it. Yeah. So how you are going to create a community? So it's very simple, right? So good information is always entertain and tend to go viral on social media. So of course, apart from all the cat videos and dog videos on Facebook, there is another side of Facebook which really gives you nice content, nice video content, or really informative articles that can be Board Panda, and there are a lot of websites which gives you really killer information. So yeah, good information always gets its way to get to people. So give a high priority on good information, and that is exactly what matters. So there is this graph that I've showed you. Uh, so website is the platform, or a digital magazine, it's a platform where the content has been kept, where each content has firm's website or the creator's website, their social media handle and their contact details. And on the other side, the traffic can be the readers. We can get the readers from various different social media or Google or any referral websites. So it's a very simple sort of diagram, but the most powerful diagram. Yeah, I must say that. Okay, so social media. So I'm very sure that this generation, like I really don't have to explain like what Facebook is, or like what Pinterest is and how you are going to use it, right? But I'll rather say that if you are using it, you first know that you are using for a different purpose, and gradually you are getting the purpose of being on social media is to get information out, right? So each social media has a different value to offer. It's been consumed, the way of consuming those information is different. So similar, for example, Pinterest, right? So Pinterest is an alternative to Google Images, to be very simple and direct, but it is an image based search engine, right? So it's very different. It's not even a social media, it's a simple search engine, right? So it's a difference. So this is an example of how Twitter would work, or how YouTube would work, or how Pinterest would work. And it is very necessary, not only as a publication to be on this platform, but as a practicing architects and interior designer, I think you should never ever miss out on these particular platforms, because either way around, either they are going to give you leads, either they are going to give you it's more often your visiting card online digitally, which can be accessed. Okay, so it's very mandatory for every firm or every business to be on this platform. So social media plays a key role on how the information is being consumed. Okay, so I'll get into one detail, like one another platform, Google, of course, and its positive use. Google have three different aspects. One is search engine optimization. Okay. Okay, so search engine optimization, I'm very sure you might have heard this term before. It's basically whenever you type anything on Google, there is this website who will pop up saying that okay, they have got a solution to it. Okay, so that way Google sees as a what you call valued information generator, and it shows on the front. So you want to be in the front to get more crowd, more engagement, more traction, right? So for search engine to rank on search engine, there are different ways of doing it. Of course, keyword research is one of the major factor which plays important role. But apart from that, I'll give you a very good example of practicing architects and interior designer. Okay, so there is this one of the website that I know. Uh, are been I won't really say their name, but they are the one who has been ranking on Google. So whenever I type like best interior designer in Mumbai, this website pop up. This is a firm's website, and and this particular firm gets close to 70 to 100 inquiries in a month. Okay, so now the way that we communicate, being a practicing architect or interior designer, it's nothing like word of mouth. Now the things have changed. The approach of people have changed, right? So even this is something I'll recommend every practicing architects, interior designer, or either if you are a student gradually, if you are planning to go practice architecture out there. You need to have a website, you need to be on the social media, and of course your website should tend to have ability of ranking in Google. So this is one really nice piece of advice I think you should consider before starting your practice. And from the perspective of being a platform, like being the digital magazine, this is where most of the traffic comes from. Facebook is where we come, from Google, we tend to have close to 50,000 people visiting the website, and Pinterest, we get like 1.5 lakh people visiting every month. So in general, like every platform has something to offer, and I think we should utilize this to our benefit uh, in a manner we can. Yeah. So that is it. And of course, there might be a lot of questions about like masters in journalism, and like what to do, and like after BR, what if I want to get into this field. These are a few examples you can get into, like direct journalism, which makes you understand. It can be mass comm, and I'm not very sure like any university in India offers this kind of a master degree plan, but of course of course you can jump into this and gradually learn the aspects of it. But yeah, these are the 8 options that you can take from for architectural journalism. Yeah, so thank you so much. I think this would be it from my side. And basically, I think that these are the 4 words I always want to convey to every student, that an idea should be always executed and believed in, and after believing it, it should be a consistent game, and then of course your platform or idea or your practice or anything would work for sure. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. Now we open this webinar for a round of question and answers. You can either type your questions in the chat box or just unmute yourself and ask.
If no one is asking, I would like to ask.
Please go ahead.
Firstly, wonderful presentation, Siddharth. You have touched most of the part where the students are maybe stuck, or maybe they need to see as a first glimpse when they think of the architecture journalism. I would like to ask you, what are the major hurdles maybe you have may faced during your startup of this maybe the online platform, not on the full-fledged way, but when you switch from the architecture field to the journalism, what you face, any sort of a example or story you would like to share? Because sometimes what happens, we block ourselves, like this is our field, we have chosen the architecture and we need to do this only, this is the only way to give justice to our profession.
Yes, Taha, you are quite right. There were a lot of challenges initially, I'm very sure. Few of them I can say that being from architectural background, because this is a digital platform, digital publication. I mean, there is no way I might be aware about like no how to create a website. That was the first question in itself, right? So from it was jumping from architecture to IT field. It was a difficult task in a way, but then gradually I understood that okay, these are the aspect WordPress, and this is how things go. And apart from that, one of our seniors, I'm very sure one of our seniors like actually motivated me to get into this field and give 100% try. Of course, it's a bootstrapping, Taha. So it was, I didn't have any funds to really put this thing up. It was just a website, and it was a wonderful journey. It was core struggle, I suppose. But after a while, if you understand, you are consistent and you understand each and every platform, I'm very sure there won't be any hurdles, right? You can definitely overcome and overtake anything and everything. So that is it. Any other questions regarding it? I mean, I'm here to like definitely answer certain questions regarding digital platforms if you want. I mean, I'm having a certain time here.
Sir, I would like to ask a question. Like,
Yes.
is it better to start with a blog or directly start with a website?
Okay. So, well, that depends on what exactly you intend to do, right? So, blog is something which is an individual say, right? So, it is about your own personal perspective about something, right? It is your say, right? Being a website itself can be like, if you go for a publication, a website itself can be a source of many architects and interior designers putting their works and creating a platform. But blog is something which you can personalize. So well, that depends on you, completely depends on you what you exactly want.
Sir, we have a question in chat box.
Yeah.
Akshita Shah is asking, what is better, starting our own startup or working in at a company?
Okay, so that depends on what reference you are asking from, right? So if you are asking from the perspective of practicing architecture, I think you should definitely go work with an architect first for a couple of years, understand the aspect, like directly not jumping into it. But if you have a brilliant idea and you think it is out of box, and this can cater some problems that is already happening in, you can see around you, then of course you can directly jump into creating your own startup and you know come up with solution to that particular problem. So yeah.
I think there are no questions.
Great.
So I would request our Professor Isha Dalal to deliver the formal vote of thanks.
Thank you, Pranjali, for the wonderful MOC. I thank architect Siddharth Bhayani for sparing his valuable time for this insightful session. It was a pleasure to have you. I am
Thank you.
extremely okay. I am extremely thankful to all the attendees for being a part of this webinar and making it a great success. I would like to
Thank you.
thank I would like to thank our principal, Professor Shailesh Nair, sir, for his exemplary support and encouragement. I also thank our NEST Trust and our chairman, sir, Sri Bhaskar Bhai Patel, for constant motivation to all of us. I extend my heartiest gratitude to all my fellow mates and the technical team who are working 24 by 7 for all these webinars. And continuing the SA webinar series, next webinar is on 18th, that is day after tomorrow, by architect Brijesh Mistry on model making, handcraft skill and art. So I request all the attendees to be a part of this webinar. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Taha, for inviting me on this platform. And it's a wonderful start. I must say it's very encouraging for students to get in touch with different kind of options they are out there rather than just traditional architecture.
Yeah.
Taha, it's a great initiative. Shailesh, it's always good to see you, and all the
Yeah,
professor,
DJ,
professor.